Visual Perception and Dyslexia by Peyton Larson. A significant part of our cerebral cortex is devoted mainly to visual processing. Most researchers believe that visual processing in the cerebral cortex occurs through two distinct streams of information. One stream, sometimes called the wet pathway, which is in the purple, is involved in recognizing and identifying objects. The other stream, sometimes called the where pathway, the green, concerns object movement and location, and so is important for visually guided behavior. Disruptions within these processes can be caused by either brain damage or more often genetics. Visual perception development stems from motor development. If a child is having problem with reading and/or comprehension, it may be an indication of a visual perception deficit. The most common learning disorder associated with a visual perception deficit is dyslexia. Perception issues often distort visual space, creating difficulty for decoding words in reading and understanding the meaning of the text. Reading can be broken down into two different processes: decoding and comprehension. The inability to decode words will result in lack of absorbing information, and the inability to comprehend what is read typically happens in children with dyslexia. According to the DSM-5, dyslexia can only be diagnosed after formal education starts. The child must present at least one of the following targeted areas for at least 6 months: difficulty reading, difficulty understanding the meaning of what is read, difficulty with spelling, difficulty with written expression, difficulty understanding number concepts, or difficulty with mathematical reasoning. There is no real known cause of dyslexia, however, it can be genetic. Although there is no known cause of dyslexia, the first documented case was noted in 1896 by a physician named William Pringle Morgan. Since then, many of our modern-day geniuses have been known to have the diagnosis of dyslexia and yet still excelled in their field. People such as Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, and Pablo Picasso all had dyslexia and serious difficulty with reading and writing growing up, but overcame their adversity to change the world with their strides. About 10% of the population is affected by dyslexia or some form of it. Dyslexia is a specific learning disorder that is often identified by poor reading and writing skills. While it is predominantly manifested in literacy difficulties, it is much deeper than just trouble reading, affecting mathematics, memory, and organization. Dyslexia decreases motivation and makes it nearly impossible to understand words that are written. Attention of the child is often redirected to an activity that the child can excel at, ignoring schoolwork because it seems like an impossible task to accomplish no matter how much effort is given. Dyslexia, undiagnosed, can be detrimental to a child's education. Although there is no way to cure dyslexia, it can be overcome using different techniques and therapies. It is important to remember that each child is different and dyslexia does not present the same in each case. Teachers can help by offering different types of learning options in the classroom. The first step is identifying the problem, then setting an individualized education program. Different therapies that are recommended are individualized education interventions, rehabilitation, occupational therapy, and counseling psychology. The most helpful tool in overcoming dyslexia are teachers' and parents' communication and involvement in the student's progress. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future."